Well, welcome back, Whistle Watchers. Have you missed me? I've missed you. Hey, the Six Nations is back and we've got plenty to talk about. So let's get into it. Oh, actually, I'm going to do it inside. Okay, let's start in Paris. Friday night, France against Wales. What you've all been discussing pretty much on social media over the weekend is the DuPont pass or forward pass. Well, you have to bear in mind here that the player is running with speed. So if a player is running with speed, once he passes that ball, so he may be passing that ball, so let's say the ball leaves his hands slightly backwards or even maybe flat, which means it's not passed forward. If that ball is traveling the same speed as a player, wherever the ball is going to land up, particularly the longer the distance, the ball will have traveled or will still be traveling forward. So then, even though the player catches the ball, looks like it's a forward pass, it may not be. Now on this one, it's quite a distance, but we also have the player catching it quite a distance forward as well. So it's not clearly forward. That is what the officials believe. For the referee and the TMO to come in and intervene and say, look, we need to check this, he needs to be sure that this is clearly forward. In their eyes, they don't think it's clearly forward. And that's not saying it's not forward, but they don't have that view of it's clearly forward in order for them to check it. So on that instance, they play on and they allow the try. Some of you may be thinking, well, for me it is forward, and you'd be doing well within your rights if you were there blowing a whistle for a forward pass. So it's just one of those hugely debatable one. But the key thing is here, for the referee and the TMO, they didn't feel it was clearly forward for them to chalk it off. Evan Lloyd, yellow card. Right, so we have upright tackle, we have shoulder, contact to head, we have high degree of danger, but we have mitigation, and the mitigation is the Wales number 10 is also involved in the tackle, so that then changes the dynamics of what happens. For that reason, we mitigate from the red card down to the yellow card. So, a yellow card for Evan Lloyd. Intermac. Now then, what about this one? We have a shoulder into the head. We have foul play, so pretty much here, whatever happens next, mitigation is not going to take part in it because his actions are always illegal. And for that reason, we then have what we reach the yellow card threshold. It gets sent to the bunker, and the match officials in the bunker then upgrade it to a red card. Some of you have been asking, well, the type of tackle like this is always reckless, always illegal. Could it have been a straight red? It could have been. If you felt that this was a straight off red card, then you would give a red card. The key thing here to remember is, if you give a straight off red card on the field as a referee, the bunker plays no part in it, and that team is down to 14 men for the rest of the game. It's only when you feel it to be a yellow card or it's close to the threshold, so you send it to the bunker and they upgrade it, it's then the 20-minute red card kicks in. Let's head over to Dublin then, Ireland, England. Now, what a great game of rugby that was as well. And congratulations as well to Ben O'Keefe on his 50th Test match. Do you know what? I was assistant referee for his first Six Nations game, which was Italy-France out in Rome. And actually, bit of a surprise for you, the first New Zealand referee to reach 50 caps. Of all the great referees they've had, it's unbelievable that he's the first one to reach 50 caps. Congratulations, Ben O'Keefe, on a fully well-deserved 50 caps, and many more to come, I'm sure. Now then, what about the obstruction on Itoje, which meant that the Irish try was chalked off? Now, so what you have here, you have Tadburn. What he actually does, he holds Itoje in, which means in the breakdown area, Itoje now cannot move to go and defend, which means somebody else has got to come and take his place. So there is a knock-on effect. And for that instance, because it's affected the ability to defend the situation, the try is quite rightly chalked off for the obstruction by Tadburn on Itoje. Now, Keelan Doris, potential head contact with Curry in the game. Is the head contact? Yes, there is. So what's happened here then? So Doris clearly has come down. So he's bent his body, he's come down. Has he done enough? Has he gone down and bent to the knees to get lower as well? Possibly not. So you would expect the player to come even lower, although that some of you may think the dynamics of the game that could be difficult, but that is the expectation. And we do have contact with the sort of shoulder and the glance of the head of Curry. So the degree of danger is not high. And because the fact that Curry was actually going down as well, and Doris was, in all fairness, down as well, a considerable height, maybe not enough, we do have foul play, but we have nothing more than a penalty. So on this occasion, it should have been a penalty, nothing more, because we have Doris actually coming down, we have Curry coming down as well, but we do have head contact, so we do have foul play, and we do have a penalty, but a penalty only and nothing more. And that's it for the Whistle Watch segment this week. Let's get on to the Emirates fans' questions. Now then, let's get into the questions here. And hang on. This is why I finished refereeing. Andy Longstreet asked, should the penalty have been reversed for Chandler's tackle in the air when a few Ireland players came running in, pushing players just a few minutes after the ref warned both captains that anyone who came in pushing players would be sin bin? Good question. Now then, it comes down to your management on the day. So there's no rights or wrong here. If the referee had given a warning, then you probably feel that penalty should have been reversed. The referee felt for some reason, and there's no rights or wrong in this, that he didn't need to do that, and on this occasion he didn't. But personally, I would have reversed that penalty because a warning was clearly given, and obviously we have somebody coming in and pushing and causing more issues as well. So it's down to you as a referee. The referee in the day felt didn't need to, what other referees may certainly have reversed it. At Paul Roberts 5687, come on now, start a farming channel. Hang on now, I haven't got time to do Whistle Watch sometimes, let alone do the farming. I'll leave that to Clarkson. Jones Juiced 564, what do you make of the new technology helping assistant referees pinpoint exactly where the ball went out? Well, yeah, look, any technology that can come in to help the speed of the game and accuracy more important than anything, then is good for the game. I just think in rugby we have to be careful that we don't overuse technology, because what will happen when you rely on technology too much, then your assistant referees and referees may take their eye off the ball, and as a referee and assistant referee you need to be on top of your game all the time. So if it can help accuracy in decision making, I'm all for that, but we have to be careful. We don't want the game to be refereed by technology. It should be refereed by the referee and the assistant referees. Now this week we've got some special questions sent in, and the first one is from Ben Youngs. So let's hear what his question is.
Hi Nige, so it's not exactly a secret mate, but I'm heading towards the end of my career. Now my brother's moved back to the family farm and made a very successful transition of that. But I want to ask you, what can a gobby scrum half do on a farm when he has zero experience, apart from crashing the combine harvester once?
How the hell can you crash a combine harvester? But anyway, I got the perfect job for you. It's not on the farm, it's a referee. Because there is no better referee than the ex-gobby scrum half. So there you are. That's your role in life now, not a farmer. But if you are going to go on the farm, then listen to your brother. Listen to his advice, because he seems to know what he's doing. Dan Cole, now then. I hope it's not a question about the front rows. Here you go. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hi Nigel, I've got a question about the TMO in today's game. Should the TMO be allowed to interject at any point during the game, whether it's foul play or just seeing something that the referee has missed? Or should the TMO only be called upon when the referee asks them to?
Good question, Dan. Good question.
Thank you.
I'm glad you were quite respectful there, Dan, in calling me Nigel. Ben called me Nige. My own personal view is that the less the TMO is relied on and the less the TMO is used, then the better. The better for the game, and the better, I think, for you as a referee as well. Because if you become reliant on the TMO and you know he's there all the time, there is a habit sometimes to check things which you wouldn't really need to check usually if he wasn't there. So the TMO can come in at the moment pretty much for anything really, although there is a protocol in place. I would like to see it reduced, that it's only for foul play and maybe for in the act of scoring. You know, checking if somebody is an inch or two offside from a kick on the halfway line. We shouldn't be using it for that, but that's the way it is. I think my answer to your question is less is more. From the TMO. And thanks for sending them in, and thanks to all of you for sending your Emirates fans questions in as well. I'll be here to answer more of them next week. Now we all know the Six Nations is special, and it brings up those special moments on the field. It also brings up the special moments off the field as well. So let's have a look at a few of them from the weekend. What about Peter Marnie? Now then, a lot of you like this. Did you see him helping Henshaw tape up his boots? So I don't know if Henshaw was a bit stiff when he couldn't actually kneel down, but that's good teamwork by Peter Marnie there. Scottish fan on his stag. When I was up in Murrayfield, I actually saw this guy and I thought to myself, what the hell is an English supporter doing up here on his own for Scotland, Italy? I thought, you brave, brave man. And he was on his stag do, so they put him in an England jersey. And let me tell you, he had some stick. But there you are, that's what rugby is all about, the enjoyment of the weekend. What about Paris on Friday night? A tough place for Wales to go on a tough night of rugby as well. Did you see the French Le Grand Bomb squad? 6-2 split on the bench. Wow, so imagine you're there playing heart out for Wales and all of a sudden you see these 6 come on in one go. It was a tough night in Paris, particularly with Le Grand Bomb squad. And that's it. Those are my favourite moments from the weekend. If you've got any, please let us know what they are. I'll be back next week with more Whistle Watch and answering your Emirates fans questions. Till then, bye-bye.